I want to do a little something different this time, and kind of celebrate a achievement that we all achieved. So today we crossed two important thresholds, two milestones. First, 51 people have donated their money into my fund, and we have reached $10,000 and surpassed it. So congratulations, that's awesome. Thank you for being and doing everything that you're doing. I appreciate it very much. Even if you haven't donated, even sharing the site or liking a post helps a lot. And when I first started, I really didn't have a concept of or grasp of the totality of the situation. And I must admit, I still don't. Like 1.5 to 2 million people crossing the border is just a mind-boggling number. 200 to 300,000 people in Warsaw, or 20% of the population, is hard to get my head around. I don't really understand it. But what I do see are convention centers changed into refugee centers. Same thing with concert halls or sports venues or what have you. Even corporate offices that are not being used are being transitioned into makeshift refugee centers to help 10 people, 30 people, 100 people, 200 people, whatever they can, as they're either staying here in Poland or moving on, which is more likely, to elsewhere in Europe. I'm also learning that my time in the Coast Guard, where I just want to spend a good amount of my effort trying to do the most good, and my understanding of certain business principles is coming in handy. So I never would have guessed that I would find it important to figure out how cheap I can buy underwear for, but it is one of the most important commodities at any refugee center, because most of the refugees didn't come with a lot of clothing. They have been here for a couple of weeks and have run out. So the donations of underwear are very welcomed, and they're welcomed everywhere, from the border to the refugee centers to even the train station. Someone will be happy to get them. As well as, paper cups, paper plates, cutlery, all important if you're trying to feed thousands and thousands of people throughout the country. So finding ways to get those to the right places at the right time. More than anything else, I've also learned logistics. So I found supplies that one area might have a little more than they need, or than would be in the right mix to send down to, say, like a border crossing or something like that. An example would be diapers. But there are, contacts that I've made at train stations or refugee centers or what have you that need them. So I connect point A to point B, and we get the right supplies to the right people. The last thing I wanted to do during this update was talk about how really it's fueled by the effort of individuals. One example is a shipment from Portugal, small shipment of people who want to do good, were passing through Warsaw, and they had some stuff that they needed to drop off at 3 a.m. So I coordinated and worked with somebody to find a place, someone's garage, for those supplies to go to for further distribution later. And, little things like that are being done to ensure that, like, great things happen, and it's done with great people. But more than anything else, I do want to circle back and say thank you, everyone, for your attention to this, and appreciate it.